Security is a factor to be greatly considered when planning on settling or relocating. The Institute of Economics and Peace, an independent, nonpartisan, nonprofit organization devoted to refocusing the world's attention on peace as a positive, achievable, and tangible indicator of human well-being and progress, evaluates the world's safest nations in its annual Global Peace Index study. It investigates nations to identify the safest and rates the most dangerous. Hi, and welcome to this channel. Kindly like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and make sure you stay through the end of this episode to make sure you don't miss any of these nations. Who knows, maybe some of them are on your list of places you want to visit soon. The top 10 safest countries in the world. Let's get into it. Coming in the number 10 spot, we have Switzerland. Switzerland has a score of 1.366. Therefore, in 2022, it will naturally be rated 5th in terms of safety and security in that category, down from 5th place in 2019. Switzerland, along with several other peaceful nations, has consistently been among the top 10 in terms of weapons exports per capita over the past 5 years. Fortunately, Switzerland is among the 10 most peaceful nations in terms of continuing domestic and international war, and is 4th in the world in terms of food security. So yes, these countries are placed in multiple different categories. Switzerland is in the 10th position, but I'm only primarily ranking them based on the overall rating. Throughout this episode, I may also discuss how they rank in particular categories. Having stated that, let's move on to Japan, taking the 9th position. Japan has been ranked as the 9th safest country in the world for the past 13 years and gained good scores in the Global Peace Index for its low crime rates. Concerns about domestic unrest and political terrorism, including those related to Japan's tense relations with its neighbors and the country's expanding self-defense forces. According to the Economist Intelligence Unit Safe Cities Index, Tokyo, Japan, is now ranked as the safest city in the world as of 2020. From there, let's look at the Czech Republic, which is taking the 8th spot on our list. One of the safest European destinations to visit in Prague, the Czech Republic is renowned for having low crime rates, and its police force is prepared to handle any problem you may run into while visiting this stunning city. Despite being one of the smallest in Europe, the Czech Republic is regarded as a historical gem. A vivid, colorful history that is both diverse and unifying is revealed by the spectacular architecture, fantasy castles, and medieval villages of this nation. Prague, the nation's capital, has evolved into a modern cosmopolitan destination while also paying homage to the nation's stormy political past. Despite having relatively easy access to guns, crime rates in the Czech Republic have decreased over the years, falling especially low when it comes to major crimes. In 2019, it was ranked number 10, but it is currently in 8th place. The Czech Republic's decline in ranks is now linked to the nation's relatively extensive involvement in international conflicts, a high ratio of convicts per population, and the appraisal of security forces and its police forces. Terrorism issues also have a slight impact on the country. That brings us to number 7, which is Singapore. The combination of its stunning buildings and subways in a modern contemporary metropolis with a mishmash of Chinese, Malay, and Indian cultures is what gives it its allure. Another one of Singapore's many charms is its mouth-watering cuisine, which is famous and well-known. There are also enormous crowded food courts and 24-hour coffee shops that provide inexpensive food from all over Asia, superb shopping possibilities, and a vibrant nightlife. The Economist Intelligence Unit Safe Cities Index, or the EIU, ranks Singapore as the 2nd safest metropolis in the world, and it is the country where people feel the most secure about their safety. According to a Gallup poll conducted in 2018, guns are also under government control in the city-state. Singapore was ranked 1st for infrastructure security, 2nd for personal security, and 8th for health security. It is the safest nation in the world. Canada is ranked 6th. Canada had to be on this list based on the Global Peace Index, of course. Canada, which has been ranked 6th in terms of safety since 2019, received incredibly high grades for its internal conflicts, crime rates, and political stability, as well as for its plenty of job possibilities, ease of access to healthcare, and effective governmental system. Well, Canadians are among the friendliest people on earth. You'll undoubtedly meet some incredibly kind people who may even be a little too kind at times. For example, if you accidentally accidentally bumped into someone, they may apologize to you as if it were your fault, but they're expressing regret. Oh, Canadians. But sure, definitely, Canadians will be pleasant to you, but occasionally, they'll gossip behind your back, regardless of how polite they have been to your face. Let's move on to number 5, which brings us to Denmark. Denmark is one of the safest and happiest countries in the world. Everyone there, including children, feels very safe at all times of the day and night. Denmark also has a high level of equality and a strong sense of shared responsibility for social welfare, all of which contribute to the country's safety and happiness. In Denmark, where honesty and trust are truly prized, corruption is uncommon in both business and politics. Denmark is a welfare state, which means that everyone has access to amenities that make it possible for them to live extremely well. These amenities include free healthcare, free education, and aged-in-home care. Denmark is generally regarded as being very safe to travel to. In contrast to most other European nations, Denmark has average crime rates and essentially no risk of natural disasters. Coming in at number 4, Austria. The country's score climbed by 0.011 points from its score in 2020, but it stayed in 4th place. Unfortunately for Austria, when Sebastian Kurz People Party won the election in October 2017, the likelihood of violent protests decreased. Austria is a relatively safe country to visit. Serious crimes are not common, but people should be on the lookout for pickpockets and handbag thieves, so keep your stuff particularly close. Additionally, social unrest has increased due to the country's political unrest. One of the safest nations in the world is frequently believed to be Austria. It has some of the lowest rates of robbery, assault, and auto theft in the developed world, and violent crimes are seldom. Portugal is number 3, which brings us there. Unlike Iceland and New Zealand, Portugal has armed police, but it appears that the greater police presence has led to a decreased crime rate in the country. Portugal is currently ranked 3rd among the world's most tranquil and safest countries, up from 18th place in 2014. In the past 6 years, Portugal's economy has recovered, and the unemployment rate has decreased from more than 17% to currently 7%. According to the yearly Global Retirement Index, Portugal was the best country for retirement in 2020, and this was because of its high level of safety. Number 2 takes us to New Zealand. New Zealand is a nation with an incredibly low crime rate, particularly in terms of violent crimes. The attack on 2 mosques in Christchurch on March 15, 2019, resulted in a slight drop in New Zealand's score from the previous year. New Zealanders, though they are generally very liberal and there are laws in place to protect people's freedom of expression, police officers in New Zealand do not have any dangerous creatures, unlike its southern neighbor Australia, which is undoubtedly known for having some dangerous species of all types of creatures. Iceland, which has the top spot and has done so for the past 13 years, despite having a population of only 346,000, comes in first. Iceland is a Nordic nation with low living standards. The extremely low crime rates are a result of the population, a high level of trust, and the absence of friction across social and economic strata. The nation has no military, and its police officers typically don't carry weapons. The combination of all these factors makes Iceland the safest nation in the world, as it has equality laws governing things like religious freedom, legal same-sex marriages, adoption, and equal pay for men and women. Okay, that concludes our list. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if any of the nations on this list surprise you in the comments section below, or feel free to add your own. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first visit to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when we upload new episodes. I appreciate you sticking out with me in this one, and I'll see you all soon.